Alright, so I'm Worster. This is my glitchless single segment run of Pokemon Yellow in 2 hours and 2 minutes. I've got the Metroid Hunters crew here on audio commentary as well. So you'll go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Burton, aka Silex.
Sparkle.
Hi.
Well, in that case, this is Quartz.
Sparkle, you gonna go? Oh, sorry. Yes, this is me, Mr. Sparkle. I kind of messed up order there, but you should race us in Pokemon Blue. I'm Shell Jackie. What the fuck?
Okay. So, the basic premise of this run was I had just speedrun Blue in a very similar manner. And so I thought, oh, well now I'll just do Yellow, it'll pretty much be the same run. Yeah, I was really, really wrong. Like, it's the same region, it's got the same trainers, but the route and everything is entirely different. The main difference is, it's harder everywhere across the run. And the main reason for this, of course, because your starter is a freaking Pikachu. Which, is pretty hopeless, especially in this game. Just about every Pokemon game depends on how it goes early game, and so, Pikachu against an Onix and a Geodude isn't going to go too well. So obviously you have to catch something else. Also, I kind of skipped this over at the start, but I do the same thing that I do in Blue with naming the characters. Name myself I, name my rival you. I don't care if you think I should name them A because I'm wasting 3 frames. That's what I do. Deal with it, it's awesome.
And we shall be loving that Pikachu forever.
And yeah, the Pikachu I don't really care enough about, so I just name him A. Because I use him for all of 2 fights. And this so happens to be one of them. Now I'm pretty sure out of all the Pokemon games that I have run and will run, this is the only fight that I actually ever want to lose. Because Pikachu's defense is so bad that you can lose this fight quicker than you can win it. And because you don't care about Pikachu, you don't need the experience.
Seemed to be the case, though.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So, as you can see, that took 5 turns where he could have killed me in 3. The plus side was, of course, that because I was in Red Bar, I got to go straight through the jingle for growing a level and learning Tail Whip.
Already an encounter.
Yeah, Route 1 didn't go too well in this run. It was pretty average, if I recall. Average encounters on Route 1 is about 3 for all 3 trips, so before I even get to Viridian. One of the main reasons this game is very difficult to run is because the main reset point is much later than all of the other games. Because most of the other games, the main reset point is when your stats, don't match up on your starter. Because I haven't even gotten the Pokemon I'm going to use, I obviously can't reset yet, and I don't give a shit about Pikachu's stats, so...
He's following you and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
That tail whack.
Was it today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday that was like the 14th anniversary of this game. If only I could have done this yesterday. That would have actually been interesting.
Just consider it a late birthday present.
Yeah, damn, I was in middle school.
I was not even in school.
I was probably on my last years of elementary school.
I don't know where I was, but I was 10.
Yeah. You don't know what level of school you're in. Oh my goodness, this guy.
Just forgot what year this came out.
It was 98.
Okay, so I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. I think the first time I heard about this game, because, you know, when you're that young, you don't really follow it. It was like, I heard in the first week it sold over 1 million copies. It's a new Guinness World Record. It's like, damn, this game must be awesome. Got it and got really mad that I had to start with the Pikachu. Got even more mad when it couldn't evolve, of course, just like everybody. Some bullshit.
Oh yeah, Pikachu doesn't let you use a Thunderstone on him in this game.
Some good bonus. But yeah, so I did get through 3 encounters on Route 3 like I thought. Okay, yeah, I have to buy stuff in Viridian because, you know, I don't get free Pokeballs in this game. And we're about to catch something much earlier than in the other games. I can get either 7 or 8 potions there and it doesn't really matter, but I never use more than 7, so it's just I keep mashing up and just press A whenever. One of my least favorite developments from Blue to Yellow, forcing you to watch how to catch Pokemon. I mean, I initially thought this was just to get rid of the Missigno glitch, but then it's in all the newer games, except Gold, Silver, Crystal, but you know, they just put it in there. And then, of course, you can still get Missigno in this game anyway, so great job that did.
They tried.
But yeah, okay, so this is the main reset point of the run here, because I have to try and catch a level 6 Nidoran male. Of course, the first thing that comes up is a level 6 Nidoran female. Close, but not good enough. So I usually have about 10 encounters based on my time that I'll sit here and wait for one. It's pretty much law that if you get one early on, it's going to have shit stats. You know, it always tries to balance itself out. One coming up on the 3rd encounter is incredibly good, so I was very happy when that happened. So I'm ahead of, I think I was ahead of my previous best at this point by like just over a minute just by this happening.
And the stream went crazy.
Oh, he didn't break out this time.
Yeah, I only get 2 Pokeballs, and I need both of them because I need to catch 2 things, because money is just that tight in this game. And so, you know, if he breaks out there, I have to throw the other one and then buy another Pokeball that I wouldn't buy normally. And then I had one attempt where I threw them both and they both failed. And it's like a 90% chance for it to work. No, it's over 90. It was around 92.
Yeesh.
Just ridiculous. Yeah, I got real mad when that happened. Oh, and just in case you didn't know, back in Viridian, I bought a Paralyze Heal. The only time you can get paralyzed is right there, by your own Pikachu. Yeah, I used to go around this guy through the grass so I could talk to him, but I kept on getting encounters there. The reason I used to do it was actually because I would get an encounter there, because you got a 1% chance of encountering a Pidgeotto in here, and if you did that, you could skip fighting this guy completely because you would get enough experience of the Pidgeotto to go straight to level 8. But you know, 1% just wasn't enough.
Haven't really been good at trusting those 1%.
Yeah, not at all. So obviously I need for Nidoran stats to be quite good, and I do that between leveling up. I don't really check at level 7, but I kind of give it a glance. So you probably didn't see that, and if you did, you got pretty good eyes. But I'll give you a better breakdown at level 8, because that's when I actually give my Nidoran a really good look. So, for reference, the ranges are attack can be between 14 and 16. Defense and special can be between 11 and 13. And speed can be from 13 to 15. And of course, I finish it in red bar, so it'll go even quicker because there's no jingle. So in case you didn't catch that, my attack was 16. My defense and my special were 13, and my speed was 14. So that means pretty much my defense and special were in the top third, which is all they need to be. That'll do everything I need it to. My attack is in the top 25%, which is everything I need it to do. And my speed is about middle, which means I'll outspeed everything I need to. It'll just cost me 7 seconds later on in the run. And I'll point that out when it comes up. But yeah, being in red bar there was actually really good, because obviously it's more important when you're learning a move, because that's 2 jingles. So it happening when I learn Horn Attack, it saves me more time. Damn, this fight's going well too. Forgot how good this Viridian Forest was. Because yeah, obviously if you get String Shot there, Metapod will outspeed you, and he's got Harden of course, which can make this battle go forever.
And that's something that I'm pretty familiar with. A classic taken forever.
Didn't you mention once that it counts Pikachu for your encounter rate as well? Through grass and stuff?
See, I'm not sure about that. I'm just very superstitious about it. Well, this was very nice getting a Pidgey here, because you obviously need a flyer. If you don't get one in Viridian Forest, you have to get one on Route 3, and they're only 50% there in yellow, so you can get stuck there for a while. But yeah, I kind of noticed, because, you know, I've done blue and yellow a lot, that yellow seems to have a much higher encounter rate on Route 1 and Viridian Forest. And after that, you get rid of Pikachu. So it just kind of makes me think that the encounter rate might be doubled when Pikachu's around. Because when I get to Mount Moon, it's exactly the same. So, you know, I've got a lot of theories that could just be absolutely nothing. Oh,
crazy.
What do you know who it is?
Nice.
That's actually really scary, because Pidgeotto's faster than you, so you don't always run away there.
Oh, yeah.
So he could have destroyed me right there if I didn't run away. I was super scared when I encountered that Pidgeotto. And obviously I couldn't substitute out a trainer because I've already fought the 2 optional trainers in here. And obviously we don't fight the bug catcher in between the 2 that I fought, because he's got 2 Metapods, or is it a Metapod and a Kakuna? Whichever one, but they've got hard, so they just take way longer to kill than these Caterpies.
Maximum hard.
This guy. And yeah, I do have to do a bit of grinding in here, because I have to get a Nidoran to level 12 before Brock. Like I said before, it's all about what's going to be quickest early game, is almost always going to be quickest throughout the whole game. So, the only thing that really competes with Nidoran early game is a Mankey, and because they have different stat growths, it actually takes less experience getting a level 6 Nidoran male to 12 than it does to take a level 5 Mankey to level 9. So, Nidoran wins all the way throughout the run. So I think when I was originally doing yellow, my first thought was, I'll get a Mankey, use that early game, and then when I get to Vermilion, I'll use Repels, so all I can encounter in Diglett Cave is a Dugtrio, and use that. But then that didn't work out too well. Because not only is it slower, but Dugtrio cannot beat Lance at all. But yeah, I only got 3 encounters in Viridian Forest as well. I think my average was about 5, and I had sun runs where I got like 8 in there. It was just ridiculous. But 3, including my flyer, is incredibly good.
That's true.
Now, this is the only fight where good stats are actually bad, because my defense in this fight is actually too good, as is my HP. Because ideally at the end of this fight, because I'm going to grow to level 12 and learn double kick, I would be in red bar, so that went really quickly, but I didn't take enough damage. So I have to sit through this whole jingle, so it costs like 2-3 seconds. Nothing big, but you know, I like saving all those little time savers.
They're nice. Everything adds up after all.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. Like, if you look at some of the other Pokemon runs before I got onto the scene, it was like, there's nothing really big that I do differently. It's just that it's little things all the way throughout the run, and they add up to a huge amount. But okay, at the first gym leader, so, he was a really big pushover if you were playing red-blue, but if you remember fighting this guy in yellow, he was an asshole. Like, everyone seemed to have different strats. My strats were always get a Caterpie, get a Butterfree, teach a Confusion, and use that to go in. I definitely never used a Nidoran. But yeah, this Onix can wreck your shit really bad because it's got Bind, and you know, Gen 1 Bind is absolutely devastating, especially considering it's faster than me. On the other hand, it has Bide, which it using turn 1 was exceptionally good, because it let me get off all those Leers with no worries at all. And I mean, it's quicker as well because he's not using any moves. So that Brock fight was insanely good. I mean, it could have been better if he just used Bide again, but that's just asking for too much.
So is that selling money?
Yeah, it is selling money, but not yet, because I bought stuff in Viridian. I don't have to buy stuff here. I don't think
Still
I'm
the best
buying
use for it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's never going to be a way where Bide is useful, because I mean, this game just doesn't do it correctly at all. But yeah, so we deposit Pikachu here because he triggers several cutscenes throughout the game that end up costing much more time than just getting rid of
Wow, that sounded pretty depressing for, deposit.
Yeah, you get pretty sad when you do that. I'm pretty sure he actually does lose happiness when you put him in the box as well. But okay, now we're on to Route 3. Now this is probably the route where the stats mattered the most in blue. They don't really matter that much here because, just because of how much damage you're doing. Like, with bad stats you do 50%, but with good stats you do 60%. I mean, it's still going to be a 2-hit KO. There are a few where it matters, but most of the ones in yellow where it matters are on Nugget Bridge. Like, all it's really going to matter for here is if I get a critical, it'll probably 1-hit KO these bugs, because my attack is so good. That's actually pretty unfortunate that I got string shotted here, because it means all of these things are going to get 2 hits in on me.
Could be worse. Could be a setup where you could be poisoned.
Oh yeah, like, I love that Nidoran is poison type. Not ever have to worrying about getting poisoned is so nice. It's just so good. Because yeah, if I could get poisoned, I would have to buy antidotes. I wouldn't have enough money to do that in Viridian. It would piss me off that I'd have to do 2 shopping trips. Oh, shorts guy. Yeah, this guy is not as much of a threat as he used to be. Because I have a fighting type move. So this Rattata can't really do much except quick attack, of course. easy one-hit KO on the Rattata. The Ekans, if you don't have good attack, won't even come close to two-hit KO. And he's got Wrap, so that can be a bit deadly. Oh, I critical him. Of course.
Wow. Nice second spike.
Yeah. The criticals in Gen 1 don't work like they're 2 times as much damage. I'm pretty sure they work as if it's one stage. So it's as if I used Leer and then used Horn Attack. Rather than Horn Attack and then Horn Attack.
Oh, by the way, I need to ask you. You usually tell me to fight the bug trainer at this part. Why do you fight the last instead?
Well, this is just because you're using a different Pokemon and it's yellow. In blue, you fight the bug catcher because you've got a special oriented Pokemon and he's got a Kakuna and a Metapod that just keep using Harden, so just spamming Bubble at him is really easy to kill him. If you do that with a Nidoran that's only got physical attacks, you're going to be there forever. And the other thing is, if you try and fight this girl, this lass here, with your Squirtle, she will wreck you so bad. Like, you've done a lot of grinding here in yellow to get yourself where you're a much higher level than Squirtle is. Like, that trainer goes in on Squirtle. So bad. But yeah, we have to reset the location so we can just go past and avoid the bug catcher. I mean, it's obviously slower to fight the bug catcher in yellow as well because he's got 4 Pokemon instead of 2. So it's no competition in yellow. It kind of is in blue, but you're going to get wrecked so bad, and you're also not going to have the experience to be Wartortle before the Super Nerd in Mount Moon. If you don't fight the bug catcher. And that's going to end up costing you turns as well. But yeah, again, that was really good that Caterpie didn't hit me with String Shot, because this Metapod only knows Harden. Like, the way it works was, they changed the movesets of Harden into yellow, and the trainers just used the movesets of the Pokemon. So any trainer that was just ported over from Red-Blue only has Harden, but that Metapod in Viridian Forest that's an extra trainer in yellow, that one has Tackle, String Shot, and Harden. They really didn't put that much work into this game.
Sandshrew.
Yeah, this is where I would have had to catch a Spearow if I didn't get a Pidgey before. And as you can see, it's not a certainty to get one straight away. If I actually had a Pokeball, it would probably be quicker to catch that Sandshrew. Because I need a Slave for Cut, Strength, and Dig, and Sandshrew can learn all of those moves. But obviously I can't plan for that because Sandshrew's encounter rate is so low. And I would also have to throw the Pokeball and get it straight away.
And now for the Mount Moon trek.
So, Mount Moon average encounters is about 9 in yellow. Mount Moon's a bit shorter in yellow than it is in blue because you don't have to detour for Mega Punch. Like in blue, I'd say average encounters is 10 because there's just that tiny little bit extra.
Zubats.
Zubats. I mean, this is obviously one of the most frustrating parts of the run when it goes wrong, but when I'm actually, like, running the game, I'm actually really excited at this point of the run when an encounter doesn't appear for a while. Like, my energy levels just rise up so much. Like, right here, only getting 2 encounters on floor 1. So hyped.
Every time I walk through these caves, I just tend to think that something's gonna happen within the next few steps.
So when exactly do you use the Moonstone?
Well, I use the Moonstone as just before a battle, but I'm not doing it now because Nidorino's Cry is shorter than Nidoking's. So for all the wild encounters, it's better to have Nidorino come out.
Oh, okay, I see.
That sounds like the silliest thing. I mean, I understand why, but you know. Some of the silliest time savers exist.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Nidoking's just got much better stats, so you definitely want him as soon as you can before a fight. Yeah, after that fantastic floor 1, floor 3 did not go that well. There was a fair few encounters in here.
That's a nice stretch, though.
Yeah, I think that was number 7.
Which fossil will he get?
I don't think it really matters.
The dome fossil has 1 less character, but it makes the NPC walk an extra step, so it's faster to get the helix. I always got the helix as a kid as well, just because my brother got the dome, I had to get the other one.
I'm more of a fan of the dome fossil myself, but each their own.
Okay, so this is where animation time savers start to come in. It'll happen first on this Voltorb. Oh god, I'm so lucky that didn't disable Horn Attack. But yeah, some attacks make the opponent Pokemon flash, and some just make the screen shake. So for this Voltorb, I'm going to use Horn Attack because it only hits once. But then after that, I'm going to finish him with Double Kick, because Double Kick makes the screen shake rather than making the opponent flash, so it's a faster move to use. It obviously isn't faster to use if it's going to kill in 2 kicks though, because then you have to wait for the screen to shake twice. If I recall, this was actually one of the worst fights in the game against Team Rocket. So this is obviously an addition, they put it in yellow because it was meant to be based off the anime. And then of course, they're just called Rocket because they couldn't add another class. Yeah, if I recall, this Ekans goes in. Yeah, Rap.
Wow.
Never liked rap type moves in this game. I mean, seriously, this is just so stupid.
It really is. I mean, the only one I really understand is Fire Spin, because that was portrayed as, you know, the best fire move, and it can be used as the best fire move. But to give something as pesky as an Ekans a move that powerful, like level 10 or something, that's just ridiculous. As you can see, my PP on Horn Attack is pretty close, which is why it's also important that I have pretty good stats, because if my attack is poor, I will run out of Horn Attacks before I win this fight. Of course, I got the critical, so I got 1 to spare, but... So far I've had the best Nidoran I've ever had stat-wise on the 3rd encounter, which is more than acceptable. That's absolutely amazing, with less encounters than I would normally have. So far the run is pretty magical.
Oh, the guy didn't move out of your way.
Oh yes, look, this NPC, I get so hyped when he moves out of my way, but he did it like 3 times in a row, and then he just never did it ever again.
He just didn't think it was the run.
Oh, you go and grab the rare candy.
How wrong he was. But yes, I go behind this house and snag the rare candy. That isn't actually... I initially thought of it for a safety strat, but it turns out I actually do this simply because it's faster. But okay, coming into rival fight number 2. This fight can be complete and utter trash. His lead knows Growl. Then he has a Sandshrew, which has incredibly good defense that knows Sand Attack. And then his last Pokemon, Eevee, also knows Sand Attack. There is no free Pokemon in this fight.
Oh, nice crit.
Uh-huh, then I just go in on this Spearow.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, just like all status moves in Gen 1 and 2, doesn't matter what the accuracy is meant to be, they can miss. Unfortunately, the second one hits. But yeah, as you can see, I switched to double kick here again. That's another example of just wanting to make the screen shake rather than flash. I do it a fair bit throughout the run. Every little bit adds up.
It's actually lived through a double kick.
Yeah, with my attack, he could have died from a double kick. That's just, you know, the way damage output works in Gen 1. It can, you know, do a certain amount of damage in a range rather than just a fixed amount. Which, I mean, is pretty cool that it adds diversity, but when you're speedrunning the game, it's kind of annoying when things like that happen. But, you know, that fight was even because, you know, I missed one attack, but I got the critical on Spearow. He doesn't die in one without that critical, so... And getting even on that fight is really good because you can get destroyed. I mean, if Spearow nails you with Growl, you're going to take 4 turns on Sandshrew, and he's going to have more time to load up sand attacks on you. And obviously Eevee's not even going to come close to dying. That critical, that Caterpie wouldn't have died, so that was another turn saved. He lives on like 2 health every single time because he's got more defense than Weedle.
Not a whole lot to say here, just a bunch of battles and get some gold.
Yeah, there's nothing here that really poses a threat to me. Well, I mean, I say that and I have the idea. Like, one of the very unique things about this game is you can just die anywhere, pretty much. Like, there's just an untimely crit anywhere will end you completely. Like, where did I die? There's a Rattata just before Bill, and he critted me with quick attack, and I died.
Hey.
Like, pretty much any Rattata in the whole game has killed me, just with a critical quick attack somewhere. Yeah, but this is definitely where my stats really do come into play. A lot of these Pokemon you see right here that are going down in one hit do not go down in one hit without good attack. Neither that Ekans or Zubat. I mean, I critically the Zubat, but neither of them would go down with even a mid attack range. It really does have to be the top 25%. By which I mean 16 attack at level 8. The reason I'm not using a double kick there on these Pidgeys is because obviously well, not obviously, but double kick shows the not very effective text against a Pidgey. So it's another text box I have to wait through. I'll only use double kick to finish off a Pokemon to give not very effective text if it's the last attack that I'm used. It's like so close about whether that's faster or not, that if I have to go from horn attack to double kick and then back to horn attack, I won't do it. It's just that close.
It must be another Gen 1 thing, because I thought it's a fighting move, and Pidgey is part normal and flying, so I thought it'd just be like neutral
Yeah,
damage.
there's a really weird thing about types in this game. If it's weak or resistant to one of them, what secondary type was it?
This is how it works. It rolls that it's super effective against normal, and then it rolls that it's not very effective against flying. Then it just cancels out the super effective text and just overrides it with it's not very effective, but the damage is still normal. Like, the damage it does is 1 times, but it'll say it's not very effective.
So yeah, it's secondary overriding the effectiveness text.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How strange.
Which is why everybody used Ice Beam on Gyarados and thought, why is this doing so little damage when it's super effective, you know? I'm getting a lot of criticals here. God damn.
Charmander guy.
But yeah, like I said before with that, when that Sandshrew came up, I do need something for cut, strength, and dig. And it just so happens that Charmander can learn all of those, and I don't even have to catch him. I name him Egg as well because despite never fighting, his name actually comes up enough that giving him a 1-letter nickname saves time.
Especially considering it's 9 letters beforehand.
Yeah, he's got a big
Wait,
ass
no,
name.
10.
Yeah, 10. Well, I mean, that saves 9. See, that's another example of a critical not doing 2 times. Normally 2 double kicks would kill this guy anyway, but a critical doesn't do it in 1. Doesn't really even get close. That does still save time, of course, though, because it means the second double kick only has to hit once. And here comes this rare candy into play, because Nidoking learns this awesome move called Thrash that makes the game go much faster. Also, for reference, because my stats are there for a long time, that is the best attack, defense, and special individually I have ever had for any Nidoking at level 23. So not only was it that, you know, top percentile, it was the top of the top percentile. Those stats were absolutely incredible.
At top percent Nidoking.
And so yeah, now because we've got Thrash, as you can see, you don't have to keep selecting the move, so it goes through the battles much quicker. Which is why that rare candy ends up being faster, just having Thrash for these couple fights over here.
So I've got a quick question. How many times do you get to use Thrash before it kicks in with, you know, confusion and whatnot?
So in every other gen except 1, it's 2 or 3, but in Gen 1 it's 3 or 4, because the game doesn't think you're thrashing until the second move. Until it says you're thrashing about, that's when it starts the counter for 2 to 3, so really you get 3 to 4. So if there's Pokemon, I'm always going to be able to thrash through them. If there's 4, I'm a 50% chance. And that only ever happens once in the entire game. Or it can happen twice if you get unlucky on actually the fight straight after the other one. But yeah, that's actually coming up pretty shortly. But yeah, definitely can't complain about any of those fights at all. Like, all I was doing was making up time. There was nowhere where, like, I got a bad damage range on, like, a level 15 Zubat or something and I didn't die. They were all really good. Another very minor change they made from blue to yellow, you can no longer escape rope out of Bill's house. So stupid. So I'm gonna have to walk all the way back after this. One of the very few route changes I made after the first time I went through yellow was like, obviously you want to fight Misty as soon as possible. If you go in there as soon as you get to Cerulean at level 17, she's just going to body the fuck out of you. I was initially fighting her right here after Bill, and I was losing about 90% of my runs here, because she was still so incredibly hard. Because she would, I mean, a Bubble Beam critical at this point in the game will one-hit KO you, and you're going to take like 3 turns to kill her. So,
especially considering you're weak to it.
Yes. And so I ended up changing the route, and we're going to go over to Vermilion first, just to get a few more levels. You mightn't think it's going to make that much difference, but it makes a world of difference.
He must be an innocent bystander. He's got a whip.
Everybody in this game got a whip.
By the way, I forgot what I was gonna ask.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, I've never seen that Machop die in one hit. So to even get that close just shows how good my attack was on this Nidoking.
With Thrash helped there, or I mean, Drowsy, Thrash stuff.
Oh, the critical?
Yes.
No, he was gonna die anyway.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what it was. I was gonna ask, how much power does Thrash have in this game?
Thrash has 90 power in this game, so it's much better than anything else I've got at this point.
Yeah.
So that guy just gave me Dig, which has 100 power. Of course, Nidoking can't learn it. It would get stab off it too, it would be so OP. Okay, jingle skip. Okay. Jingle skip.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, in case you don't know, when you find a hidden item, you're meant to hear a 6-second jingle or something. But because I get that hidden item straight after entering a zone with new music, the jingle doesn't play. Like, you can do that on any item. Like, for example, the potion in Viridian Forest. The way you would do that is to encounter a Pokemon right next to the potion and then pick it up. The jingle wouldn't play because it's still loading the music for Viridian Forest. So it can't play another music track while it's loading that one. So realistically, that's the only one you can do it on. Like, without a random encounter happening right in front of your eyes. Also, I kind of just skipped over the fact that I got 2 encounters in 7 patches of grass. That was kind of bullshit. One of them was a Pidgey as well. I could have just caught the Pidgey there. Yeah, this was pretty unfortunate. You got 3 Pidgeys here and they all know Quick Attack. But I needed all of them to not use Quick Attack. And one of them did. So, knowing what Pokemon's coming up, I have to actually heal here.
Hey, at least you got some jingle skips.
See, as you can see, that's obviously going to be the last potion I'm going to use, and I've still got 3 to spare, so I was never going to use all 7. But yeah, I think my previous best at this point got to this trainer and got absolutely destroyed by this Raticate. Because he doesn't die from Thrash in one hit either, and he criticaled me with Hyper Fang and then turned around and criticaled me with Quick Attack before I could kill him. Oh, he does die in one hit.
He does die in one hit.
Oh, damn! He doesn't normally die in one hit, I can tell you that.
at top percentage, Nidoking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this NPC. She was nice this time. She's been a bitch before. Moving my way 3 times in a row.
Oh, the officer.
No, not the officer. The officer doesn't move. It's the lass on the way down.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, we have to get the bike voucher right now because, you know, we still have to go back to Cerulean. So we can't do it before the gym because you need the Cerulean badge to actually use Cut. And you obviously need Cut to access Surge's gym. And another thing they changed in yellow was you can't dig out of that house as well. But of course, they don't bother changing that you can dig out of half the gyms and not half of the other gyms. I've actually got this really bad habit, and it only happens in the Vermilion Mart, where instead of buying super potions, I buy ice heals. And it ruined one of my best blue runs, where I bought 6 ice heals instead of super potions, and then I didn't have enough money. So I had to reset.
Ooh.
Jeez.
So this fight is pretty much the only fight where I lose time by delaying Misty. Because obviously Misty gives TM11 Bubble Beam, and I would have taught it before this fight. Obviously because I haven't beaten her, I don't have it, so I have 1 extra turn fighting the rival Sandshrew. Luckily this fight is still much easier than the one on Cerulean, because despite, you know, being much later in the game, he's leveled his Pokemon like 2 levels. I don't understand how this fight was ever meant to be a threat. And yeah, we can't use Thrash throughout this fight because obviously we're going to get confused if we do, because it would take like 7 turns. And Thrash also doesn't kill the Eevee in 1 hit, because Eevee actually surprisingly has really good defense. I have to use a double kick for him to go down. That fight can still be a bit of a pain. Sandshrews got 1 turn and he can still use Sand Attack there. And then if you miss Eevee's still got Sand Attack as well. So I mean, you can get locked in there, but that fight went flawlessly, so...
Wow.
Lovely.
Is that another skip? A jingle skip?
See, yeah, the jingle didn't play there, but it never plays there. Like, actually, the only time I think I've ever seen that jingle play is in the Japanese version of the game. Like, I have never ever heard that jingle playing my version of the game. So, I don't really consider that a skip, because you don't really have to do anything. You just keep pressing B and you just won't hear it.
Yeah, that did sound a bit, look a bit late for it. That's weird. Oh well.
Because I think it was in Oxwaz's TAS, where he did Pokemon Blue Glitchless. He had to listen to that jingle because he was playing the Japanese version.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask you, did you ever consider trying to get like a blackout into the SSN so you can get back to Cerulean faster? But I see you use Dig and Diglett's Cave to get Cerulean.
Yeah, we still keep the warp point at Cerulean, just by not taking the center at Vermilion, because you have to go back twice actually. But yeah, I did consider death warping out of SSN. There's only a few issues with that though. One of them is it's so hard to get something to actually kill you. Like all the other trainers after you get cut are such dumbasses. Like your best bet is a Growlithe, but they can just spam roar at you and do absolutely nothing, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the other issue, of course, is that you actually lose money, and money is actually very tight. So you would have to get something to get rid of that. Jesus Christ, what am I doing on this Goldeen?
Getting confused.
This Goldeen is going in! I hate that Goldeen.
Here's Misty.
But yeah, in case you didn't actually catch my speed there, it was 57. Misty's Starmie has a speed of 56. So
Nice.
I just managed to outspeed her Starmie. So yes, going through those extra trainers makes a huge difference, and my speed was just good enough on that DB. But yeah, this definitely used to be the hardest fight in the game before I did delay her by this much. But now I've got the special to tank Bubble Beam crit, I've got the speed to outspeed her, and I've got the attack to take her down in 3 hits, even if she uses next defense. And now she is free as hell.
So, I guess this is the battle where you have a 50-50 chance for a Thrash? Well, maybe
No.
less than that.
No. That's not the one, actually.
But from the sounds of things, you still might have a problem there.
Yeah, if she used an X... No, because, I mean, that'd only be if you didn't go first. If you got outsped by the Starmie and she used an X defend, then it would take 3 turns to kill it with Thrash. Otherwise, it takes 2.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, now I see where you're getting at.
Yeah. I mean, if your speed isn't good enough, you can still tie with the Starmie. I mean, you'll generally win with a tie. But
I just forgot that items actually went the same priority as turns in this game.
yeah. So yeah, we do a little bit of item management here. Gotta move the bicycle up to number 1, because, you know, we're gonna use that the most.
Even
And-
potions?
Yeah, you don't use potions that much.
Oh no,
I've
I'm
never-
saying like what you were talking about with the priorities over moves.
Oh, yes. Is it this? Blaine? No, it's not. That was when I was doing a blue bingo. But yeah, there was one time where I was fighting Blaine. Blaine's the only trainer that does this, and I don't understand how he does it. But he went first against me, and the first thing he did on turn 1 was use a super potion.
Wow.
Like, how does he even do that? His Pokemon on full health and he just decides to use super potion. Utterly ridiculous. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they fixed that for Yellow. I've never seen him do that in this game.
Oh, this is the best part.
Oh, yes. So, the first thing you think of when you think of luck in Pokemon is this gem and these trash cans. Now, contrary to popular belief, the second trash can be, I'm not going to say anywhere, but it's just about anywhere after you get the first one. It is not always next to the other trash can. For example, if you get any trash can for the first one, the second one can always be the top left. In fact, the second trash can actually be none of them. It can just not exist. And you're totally done. And as you can see, I am getting bodied by these trash cans. I know, like, for every trash can where the first one can appear, because the first trash can can't actually appear on some of them as well, which is why I'm skipping some of them. But I know for all of them one that it at least can appear on, that's right next to it, and so I'm always going to that one, and I am just getting absolutely devastated.
Oh.
All of my rage in those trash cans that cost me about a minute, and it was pretty much the only mistake. Well, and it's not even a mistake, it's just terrible luck. And it's the only time where it was a really big time sink in the whole run. And I mean, it's so much more blaringly obvious than some of the other time sinks that can happen. I just got so mad when that happened.
Growl, huh?
Oh yeah, this Raichu can actually kill you. Surge is a dumbass, but Raichu can actually kill you, even from full health. Because he's got Mega Punch and Mega Kick.
Ew.
And because of the way crits work in Gen 1, that it's based on the base speed of the Pokemon, Raichu's quite fast. Not quite as fast as Starmie, but still quite fast. So he's got a pretty good crit rate. If Mega Kick crits, it does about 80% damage.
And if Mega Kick hits...
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he can destroy you pretty bad. So most of the item management in this game, like obviously moving things to the top that you're going to use most, it's also a lot of it's about like you use HMs at the bottom and then TMs, because when you run out of an item, it forces you back to the top of your items. But when you use a HM, it's obviously got infinite uses, so it just stays on the HM. Like before, I taught Cut to Charmander, and then I taught Bubble Beam, and then Bubble Beam sent me right up to the top, so I could just use the bicycle straight away. You know, that kind of thing, so I don't have to scroll through the menus as much. This right here coming up is the fight where I can't get confused from Thrash. Because this bitch has 4 Pokemon. And not only does she have 4 Pokemon, she has 4 Pokemon that all know Sleep Powder.
Jeez.
Oddish's defense is much better. He won't die from a Horn Attack, so I do have to lead with Thrash, because Oddish can destroy you. Actually, I don't think the Oddish knows Sleep Powder, but he knows Stun Spore, which is arguably worse.
Wait, didn't you get that Paralyze Heal?
Yeah, I did. I've also got a full restore.
Yeah, although, yeah, that wouldn't matter so much in the heat of battle, would it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like Gen 1 trainers cheat. I mean, if you use a Paralyze Heal, they can use Stun Spore again. But if you don't use it, they'll never use Stun Spore again. Absolute cheats. But yeah, in this fight, if you don't have a good attack here, his Venonat won't always die to your Thrash, so it can take 4 turns as well. But I'm fairly certain with the attack that I've got, he dies in 1 hit.
Oh.
Oh, I just
Critical
went
hit.
right ahead. Critical. Well, that takes all the guessing out of it.
Oh no, can't see.
Yeah, we do Rock Tunnel without Flash. It's fairly easy in Gen 1 because, I mean, you can still see the walls. So yeah, there was this one run where I had really bad special, and I didn't kill this Cubone with Bubble Beam. I didn't even know that could happen, but yeah, it goes to show that every single one of the stats do matter in this game. Which is even more, like, it's so detrimental that the Pokemon you get is later on, so you can't reset within 2 minutes, and yet the stats matter even more. You'd hope that you would have a bit more flexibility with it, but nope. And yeah, this is Nidoking's incredibly good move pool coming into work here, that he can just body freaking Slowpokes because he can learn Thunderbolt.
Gen 1 and its silly move pools.
Learn Thunderbolt, Bubble Beam, but cannot learn Dig.
Ah, absolutely ridiculous. I wish he could learn Dig so bad. Like, it would, because he would get stab of it as well, it would be 150 power. Also, that was pretty lucky against that Oddish that he used Poison Powder, which obviously can't affect me because I'm Poison type, because he definitely does have Sleep Powder. And in case you didn't know, if you get put to sleep when you're thrashing, you can't do anything. It'll just keep using Thrash until you wake up. You can't use an Awakening or a Full Restore. It won't let you.
Ooh.
So yeah, we use the Repel before it wears out to avoid the Repel's effect wore off text. Damn it. I was actually having a bit of with Rock Tunnel in previous runs before I got this, because my Game Boy's been messing up a bit lately, where some of the inputs just won't register. But that one went pretty well. I mean, I hit a wall for a little, like 1 second there. That's no big issue, compared to hitting a trainer and costing a minute.
Wasn't there a trainer just a space below there?
Yes, there is. Which is why I was so nervous, because I had hit him, I think, the previous run. Yeah, in Gen 1, if you hit a wall and move straight after it, you actually waste no time. Like, you can hear that sound as if you're hitting a wall and actually cost you no time at all. I'm not saying that was what was happening right there when I was trying to avoid those trainers. That was definitely costing me, like, half a second every time. But you've got to be right on the edge of those as well. So I was just being cautious. Because, you know, I'm so excited at this point doing the run.
So, I see you're gathering up all these ethers. Do you save them for the Elite Four or something?
Yeah, they're pretty much all for the Elite Four. I think I used one just before the Elite Four. But yeah, I'm going to be dominating the Elite Four with pretty much one move. So I am going to need to gather up a lot of PP restoring moves. If I recall correctly, I get 5 throughout the run. Now, this guy is actually pretty interesting. Based on my stats, I actually do different things against this guy. If I don't have 16 attack at level 8, I don't thrash that Growlithe. I instead use Bubble Beam, because he won't die to a good thrash, but he will die to a Bubble Beam. It's obviously quicker to use thrash if he dies, so because I had good attack, I've got to go with it, and of course, I critical anyway. So okay, right here, this is the biggest dumbass potential point of the run. Trying to get hidden items in the middle of nowhere. Generally when I'm playing this, I count to 3 Mississippi. And so yeah, that went really well. I've got to get the second one as well. Yeah, I've lost like a minute there before when I missed the elixir.
Oh, jeez. Yep, time for a shopping spree, I guess.
Yeah. And do all your shopping in one bunch. And we do get a lot of stuff here. We needed an extra nugget because we're going to buy a lot more stuff in yellow. More specifically, we're going to buy a lot more X accuracies. So we have to sell everything that not just for the money, but this is also to make space in your inventory. It's like you've got to sell shit like that one potion, that one paralyze heal. Yeah, I had no idea where my potion was because I moved it for the bicycle. Usually it's like right at the top, but it was right down the bottom, so I got really confused there.
All these X items.
Like those X accuracies, that cost over half my money, because at least they knew how overpowered they were. They cost much more than all the other ones. I guess that was trying to turn you off. And fairly ironic, despite being a physical Pokemon pretty much the whole game, I didn't buy any X attacks.
Soda pop.
Yeah, we buy the soda pop before... we buy the soda pop and the fresh water separately to save one down press when I go to the girl, because if I had both the fresh water and the soda pop, I would have to press down to get to soda pop, rather than it just being the first option. These are the little things that make my life happy. And yeah, as you can see, my money was very, very, very tight. And while we're in the area, we're going to go right ahead and get Fly. Yeah, when there are little areas where you can't use your bike, like, it's quicker to just walk than to actually select the bike and then bike over to that place. Like, it was quicker to walk to that Fly house. Another good example is in Cinnabar, it's quicker to walk to the gym from the center than to put on your bike, that kind of thing. And so obviously we want to be using all of our items at pretty much the same time. So we do a big item use here. I've been asked before by, I think it was Mexerican Base Monkey. He said, on a scale of like amazing to awesome, how good is your rock slide strat in yellow? It's so stupid that you have to teach your Nidoking Rock Slide for all of 4 Pokemon in the whole run.
Yeesh.
And even stupider is that all of those Pokemon are a Ghastly. Because, like, you never think, oh, I'm going to use Rock Slide on a Ghastly. But yeah, now that we've got to Celadon, we're into the second half of the run, where you know the best move in the whole game, Hornbill. I'm so lucky that doesn't let you actually use it. Yeah, I would have gotten absolutely devastated if that had actually used my Pokédoll, because I don't even have the money for another Pokédoll.
Not to mention you're all the way over here already.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, once we use an X accuracy, accuracy of all moves go absolutely through the roof. And so currently, Horndrill, which was before 30% accuracy, is now like something around 190%. I don't know what it actually is, but it's well above it'll always hit. Like, if you get your accuracy dropped 3 times and you use 1x accuracy, it's still always going to hit. It's so far beyond 100%.
So I need to remember, I need to ask you something once we get to the final fight.
Oh my goodness. The final fight. Oh, there will be a lot of explaining to do there. But yeah, we had to teach Rock Slide for the Ghastlies in this tower because Ghastlies have incredibly good special. Thunderbolt won't even get close to killing them. Obviously, Horn Drill doesn't affect them because it's a normal type move, as does Thrash. And because Nidoking, for whatever reason, cannot learn Dig, I have to learn another physical move to take them out in one hit, which happens to be Rock Slide. It's actually really close whether it's even faster, but the point is that it's much safer because these Ghastlies know very devastating moves such as Lick, which has a 30% paralysis chance, and Confuse Ray, both of which can waste your time like hell.
Especially considering Confuse Ray's rate.
Yeah, exactly. I think their only other move is Nightshade, which actually does a considerable amount of damage. The only issue, of course, with Rock Slide is that it doesn't have 100% accuracy. It's only 90%, so you can still miss these Ghastlies. It actually doesn't happen as much as it really should. As 90% 4 times. So it's like just above 60% that it would actually work. Like 65% or something that it should hit all of them. And, you know, it always seems to. I've only ever had one miss in any attempt. So I guess I'm lucky on this front. But I've certainly had my fair share of bad luck on every other front, so... I love how you have to get that rare candy as well.
So silly. Just put it right in the middle of the path. A one square path.
I think the first time I was like playing through this game and actually knew what I was doing, I actually had a full item inventory as well. So I couldn't even pick it up. But yeah, that's obviously what the Pokédoll was for. By just escaping from that battle with the Marowak, we don't have to go through the side quest to get the Silph Co. So that saves a considerable amount of time. Growl. Wow.
Oh no, it weakened your physical horn drill. Now you can one-hit KO less.
Yeah.
Something.
These guys get bodied pretty bad. It's much better that you just fight Team Rocket in here than the 3 Rocket guys. Obviously because it's only one fight, and, you know, these guys are really easy.
And there's your permanent awakening.
Yeah, it actually is fairly useful, that you can just wake yourself up at any point throughout the run. I don't think it's ever useful anywhere in Blue, but it is in this game, because you can get put to sleep more often. But yeah, now we take the center at Celadon. This is for PP for Horn Drill, but it's also to set the warp point to Celadon as well, from when I dig out of places. Celadon's a really, really nice hub because it's the closest city to Saffron, it's the closest city to Fuchsia, and it's obviously the closest city to Celadon as well. So it's where my hub is for the rest of the game, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, for whatever reason, Nidoking can still learn Earthquake, despite not being able to learn Dig. So we're gonna head up to floor 10 to get Earthquake, because it's incredibly required. Like, it's an incredibly strong move, considering it gets stabbed, and you just don't have enough PP to just ride off Horn Drill for the whole game.
Not to mention the X accuracies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that fight actually went really well. Like, I'm surprised even with the critical that he got 2 hit. And the fact that he did no damage means I don't have to heal here. I have to be at 100 plus defense after that fight, because the next fight against the rival here in Saffron, he can do some serious amount of damage. Okay. Psylocke skip, coming right up here. We're gonna teach Earthquake first, but this is Psylocke skip. Everybody get hype. And yeah, already got rid of Rock Slide. But okay, here comes Psylocke skip. Okay, watch. Just watch what happens. Where am I going? This isn't where I'm meant to be going. Boom! That skip!
Surprise!
So yeah, that saves like 7 seconds by not having to walk down to floor 5 where this was. I always thought you had to go to that warp tile and then just go straight back out of it to fight this guy. I had never in my whole life thought, what if you just go to the warp tunnel where it takes you to? And yeah, Psylocke brought that to my attention, and that definitely does save time. The only issue with it, of course, is that on floor 5, on your way here, you would normally get an elixir, which you would use. So I have to get a max ether somewhere else where I wouldn't have before. And in my first run, where I used Psylocke skip, I forgot completely about that max ether, and got to the final fight and had no PP for Horn Drill.
Oh
So I got
no!
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so we walk up one tile before we fight this guy, so he doesn't have to walk around me. He can just walk 2 steps to the right and go straight out. Because your rival has a very slow walking speed as well. But yeah, this guy has a Sand Slash now as his lead. Completely ditched his Spearow. And Sand Slash has a move typically called Slash. Fittingly, whatever. And because that's always a critical, it does a whole lot of damage. Of course, he doesn't use it to demonstrate what I'm actually trying to say, but it'll do like 50 damage if he hits you with Slash. And so because we have to use an X speed and an X accuracy in this fight, if he gets 2 of those off, you do need to be at 100 plus HP, just to make sure you'll always win this fight. So we throw off a Horn Drill against Magneton as well, because we have 5 PP for Horn Drill. So there's only 4 Pokemon that you actually need it for in here. The 5th one we use simply because it's faster to use Horn Drill than Earthquake on something where Earthquake's super effective. Because Earthquake is a flash move, and Horn Drill is a shake move. So it comes into play even this late in the game. And the reason we had to use an X speed is because of the way one-hit KO moves work in this game. They won't affect the opposing Pokemon if you're not faster than them, rather than it being based on level. So once I'm faster than everything in a party and I have an X accuracy off, I'm going to kill everything in one hit pretty much. Yeah, Team Rocket never really poses a challenge. Their biggest challenge is at Mount Moon. And they did everything they really could there, and it was like 10 damage. So this fight varies based on your stats as well. If I had worse attack than what I did, I would have had to use 3 Horn Drills in this fight rather than 2. So I would have had to use Earthquake on the Magneton, which would have cost me like a whole 2 seconds. But because my attack was so good, I'm going to be able to kill his Rhyhorn with Earthquake. This Nidorino wastes so much of my time. Oh my goodness.
Jeez, that's... There he is. 5 times.
All 5. And then it uses the worst attack in the game.
Lowers its critical.
And it's faster to use Earthquake on this Rhyhorn rather than Horn Drill, because despite being a one-hit KO move, Horn Drill still loads the tech. It's not very effective, before saying it's a one-hit KO. So it would be 2 text boxes instead of 1. It's really funny how I play the games like this now. Like, I played the hell out of these games as a kid, and I always thought X items were useless. Like, anytime I found an X item on the ground, I'd just sell it immediately. I hated them so much. I never knew their true potential.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were like that.
And now I head off to Sabrina, where, you know, considering I'm a poison type, and I remember playing this game as a kid and thinking Sabrina was absolutely impossible. I mean, she's the 6th gym leader, and she's got 3 level 50s. And you'd think, you know, Psychic's really good on my type, so you'd think it would be an absolutely disastrous battle. Ironically, it's the only gym battle where I haven't and can't get absolutely destroyed. It is the easiest fight in the game.
That's something.
Oh, that's why. I forgot she has different Pokemon in yellow.
Yeah. She leads with Abra, and Abra is absolutely free. Its only 2 moves are Flash and Teleport.
Wow.
So I can just sit here and do whatever the hell I want, and then just destroy her.
Wow, it's... Oh, okay.
I'm using Earthquake here just to conserve Horn Drill PP.
And because it's just ridiculously defense weak anyhow.
The Alakazam doesn't die to Earthquake. I do have to Horn Drill him.
Oh.
But that's okay, because I only need 4 more Horn Drills. Works out perfectly. Okay, there's a little trick here that I actually took from the 100% TAS of Blue, where instead of just digging out of this gym, I'm going to go to the warp tile and then dig out of the gym. This saves about 1 second, because instead of doing the spinning animation for dig to get out of here, I just do the warp tile animation, that takes me straight out of the gym.
Oh, that's a good one. I did
The
not know
little
that.
things in this game. Yeah, I never would have thought of that unless I found it. That's definitely something else. Snorlax, unfortunately useless. Just another thing in my way. Just run away.
At least you can.
Yeah, exactly. If I had to fight him, that would actually be pretty bad. I would have to use a Horn Drill, I'm pretty sure. Because, you know, he's got HP through the roof. this is actually a bigger break in the run than SSN is. When I'm on this road, you don't have to hold anything, you just keep going down, so I'm generally stretching my legs at this point, thinking, please don't get body. Because this next gym coming up is actually one of the worst. It's ironically got more psychic Pokemon than the psychic gym, so... This guy's not an issue, however. He would be if my attack was not average, but really, really bad. Like if my attack was 14 at level 8 instead of 16. I wouldn't kill these trousers with Earthquake. So I mean, a lot of the attacks are really, really close, which obviously comes from doing no grinding after Viridian Forest anyway. This second guy, however, he is a bit of an issue, because his Hypno doesn't die in one hit. And it's got Confusion, which can do a lot of damage, especially if it criticals, well, obviously, but I mean, get stab and super effective in it. Oh wait, never mind, forgot this was to earn. And of course he drops his balls at how good my run is going. Now the super potion I used there, I didn't really have to, that was just a precaution. This Venonat that I have to set up on as his lead can use two moves. It can use either Sleep Powder or Psychic, which are pretty bad. The only way he's going to be able to kill me is if he uses Psychic and it makes my special fall, and then he uses Psychic again. He's unfortunately a cheat just like all the others. He'll never use Sleep Powder while I'm asleep, but if I wake myself up, he'll use Sleep Powder again.
Uh-oh.
And he just chooses his turn after my turn. So I have been stuck on this Venonat for several minutes before. And as you can see, he makes my special fall on the second one, but at that point it's absolutely negligible, because now I'm just going to go in and dominate him. And as you can see, 44 health left, and I recovered 38 with that super potion, so I would have been on 6 health.
We've had some nice jingle skips.
Yeah, I would have skipped growing to level 40. So it would have saved a bit of time, but not enough for me to risk the whole run at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable. Then we have our Wonka victory.
Now, my item management actually gets split up at this point based on what's happened in the run as well. If I've used either all of my super potions or my full restore, I don't use the ether that I use in here, because I want to have a full item inventory before I go to Celadon Gym. I have to use the ether here, otherwise I won't have room for surf at the end of Safari Zone. So obviously this is what you want to happen, because you know you don't want to be in a position where you've had to use either all your super potions or your full restore. And we never let a repel run out in this game because it just lets you stack them on, which is obviously faster. This is one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the run, is using the bicycle right here after I walk to Celadon. Because I know my item is on Super Repel, because that was the last thing I did, and it's almost always on bicycle. So if I just mash A there, I'm going to use another Super Repel, and then I'm not going to have enough for the run.
Oh, jeez.
Because it just uses it again. But yeah, as you can see, Celadon's work very well as a walk point, because this is exactly where I want to be right now. Left side is the quickest to enter because there's only one trainer and she's got the least amount of Pokemon at 1. If I recall, I actually one-hit this Execute. It's got Hypnosis. I've never one-hit this Execute before, and it's got Hypnosis. And like I said before, it'll make you keep using Thrash until you wake up. Oh no, I don't. But he uses Reflect or whatever. This is one of the most perplexing changes to me that they made from blue to yellow. Like, you look at all the other gym leaders, and they've all gotten harder. Erika switched out her Victreebel and Vileplume for a Gloom and Weeping Bell. It just makes no sense to me why that happened. And of course, because we're doing her so late, we don't need to use an XP because we're so much higher level than her. The reason we do her later than we do Koga and Sabrina is just because of the positioning of the gym. After this gym, because it's right in the bottom of the city, we want to be flying out of here, because you can't dig out of Erika's gym, whereas you can out of Sabrina's. You can't out of Koga's, but of course you're just going straight to Safari Zone, so you're in the right place. This is in the bottom left in the middle of nowhere. You don't want to be biking out of this gym. You want to be flying. And so you want to do it later on where you actually have somewhere to fly to. And right now I do, because I've done all of this. I want to be flying back to Pallet Town to go to Cinnabar. But first we're going to go to Fuchsia to get strength. And in case you didn't notice there, because I had a full item inventory, Erika couldn't give me her TM, which saved time as well, because I didn't have to go through her explaining what her TM was.
And I'm guessing that's a thing until the end of the run?
Yeah, it is. You always want to have 20 items for Erika, Blaine, and Giovanni. So if I had used my full restore before, I wouldn't have used the ether and I still would have had 20. But then I would have used the ether now instead of taking my mom here, and I would have had to take the center at Celadon. So it's actually quicker to do it this way as well, because your mum takes less time than a Pokemon Center, because she doesn't take the Pokeballs and whatever else. And that's another little tiny thing I do. I teach cut into position number 2 on Charmander, and I teach strength in position number 1 because I teach strength so late in the game that I want it to be higher up on his priority list. Like, I don't use cut in the game anymore, so I want that to be lower than strength when I'm using them, because it's based on what order it is in his move slots. And we had to use the rare candies then. Ironically, it has nothing to do with actual battles. It's because you want to be the highest level at this point, because the levels of the wild encounters in Pokemon Mansion are much higher in yellow, that you'll still get encounters in here. Because the way repels work is, it's just Pokemon lower than your lead Pokemon level that won't appear. And so if I was still 41 here, a level 42 would be able to appear. But because I'm 43, it can't. And they get much higher on the very bottom floor here. I generally get 2 encounters in here in yellow. There's one. Yeah, level 46 Raticate. Who thought that was a good idea?
These trainers are pretty sparsely located.
Yeah, what's actually interesting is, like, one of the reasons I really love Gen 1 is because it doesn't have spinners, right? Like spinning trainers that try and get you from any location.
Oh
It
yeah.
actually does. There's a guy right there in the bottom floor that spins. The issue with him is, he actually won't fight you unless you talk to him. So he'll spin around, but he'll never detect you.
Well, to be fair, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, I'm not complaining at all. I think that's lovely. I wish all spinners didn't detect you. But yeah, we're actually going to buy hyper potions here instead of full restores later on, because this is, in Blaine, we might actually need to use a hyper potion, because despite having the type advantage on him, he's actually a fairly difficult fight.
And right off the bat, they throw you the trick questions.
Yeah. These questions are all pretty arse. Like, I mean, I know there's not 9 badges, but pretty much all the other ones are pretty stupid.
Trying to fake you out with slight differences.
Yeah, like Poliwag evolved 3 times. Oh, well, it's got 3 stages. And then, ironically, you know, it's got the Politoed branch later on as well.
Tombstoner.
Yeah, another
Yeah, we
slight
needed a
difference they made
tombstoner.
between blue and yellow is that it doesn't keep popping up that, you know, if you want to conserve your energy for the gym leader, you may as well get it right. It just asks you the question after the first one in yellow, which I really, really like. Then they made the remakes in Fire Red and Leaf Green and brought it back. Idiots. But yeah, if Ninetales hits you with Flamethrower and it criticals, you die in 1 hit. And there's just nothing you can do.
Wow.
He throws out a pretty dick move instead anyway, in Confuse Ray. So I can get absolutely destroyed here.
Although I think Ninetales did have special.
Oh yeah, it has some pretty decent special. 100, I think.
So yeah, we used the second one on Rapidash because it's got much shittier moves, as you can see by using Growl. But Earthquake wouldn't one-hit the Arcanine, and Arcanine's got even better moves. It's got Fire Blast and Flamethrower. And so either of those hit, obviously if they critical, you're done. So you want to be one-hitting him as well. To get out of this fight with actually no damage is insanely good. Because, you know, I had to take 2 setup moves there. And I was insanely lucky that I didn't hurt myself in Confusion. Because, I mean, if that happened, I probably would have died. Especially if it was on the Ninetales. I think Confusion and a Flamethrower would have killed me even without the crit. Okay, only one gym to go. This gym, if I recall, was absolutely amazing. Oop. What
And the entry was
Entry
not.
gym wasn't.
I forgot all about that, but yeah, that rings a bell now.
I wish I could forget about that. But yeah,
Could have
so we go
avoided
through
him.
We go through the left side instead of taking the spinners, because the spinners in Gen 1 make you spin at like half your walking speed. So it's quicker to fight these two guys and then reload the gym than going through the spinners.
I know I used to do that a bunch when I was playing.
Yeah, so the Karate King, we use Thunderbolt on his Marshokes because he's not going to die in one hit from Earthquake anyway. And again, Thunderbolt's a Shake and Earthquake's a Flash. But of course he dies in one hit if you get a critical.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Body this Karate King.
Ow.
Yeah, that couldn't have gone better. Save 2 turns out of nowhere right there. And so now Giovanni is actually a pretty interesting fight, because his lead is a Doug Trio, which is immediately faster than you. And so he's got 3 moves he can use. He can use Dig, he can use Earthquake, and he can use Fisher.
Oh.
Now, because he's faster than Fisher can hit, Dig and Earthquake are both super effective, so they're going to do a lot of damage. Doug Trio is fast. If he criticals with either Dig or Earthquake, you're dead. So what you have to do is use an X speed off the bat, so you'll outspeed him, and it'll also make Fisher ineffective. So you're hoping for him to use Fisher. Instead, I get an even more hilarious result.
Card spec.
So good. And yeah, amazingly, Doug Trio dies to Earthquake.
Ooh.
Out comes his Persian, so we set up on the Persian because he can't kill me in one hit. He does do a fair bit of damage with the critical slash though, because it's got stab. But
Yeah.
you know, it can't double critical, so that's never going to be able to kill me.
And it's all smooth sailing from here.
But yeah, as you can see, this gym went incredibly well. Like, you can get stuck on that Persian pretty bad if the Doug Trio had hit me with Earthquake or Dig. I would have had to keep using a Hyper Potion on the Persian, and he can just sit there spamming Slash. I have to wait to get off my max accuracy. And we use Surf on the right on just because it's quicker than 2 text boxes, just to get one. And yet, don't have space for Fisher. We don't need it because we got Horn Drill. I used the full restore just because it's closer to my items than... Why didn't I use the max ether? That was so dumb. But yeah, it was just close to the top than my hyper potions. My hyper potions are all the way down the bottom. And there's only one thing that can inflict a status on me, which is Agatha's Gengar from this point on. And if it paralyzes me, I just lose. So... I'm not really worried about trying to salvage that situation. And so remember when I said not having perfect speed at level 8 was going to cost me time in one fight? This is the fight where it cost me that time. Because if I had 15 speed at level 8, that would indicate that I wouldn't need an X speed during this fight. I would be able to outspeed his Kadabra without it. But instead I have to use one. Ugh, this Sand Slash takes up so much of my time. Ooh,
At least it's only 3 hits that time.
Yeah. And yeah, this Kadabra has Psychic and Psybeam. And I think Psychic kills you from full health without a critical. So you definitely do need to outspeed him. Because, I mean, you obviously don't necessarily need to be faster because you used Earthquake on him. But he's going to kill you if you're not, so... Now we're coming up to the end. I don't know why they disable your bicycle for just this first part, and then you can use it again. At least they keep the music.
Probably because the first part's in a building.
Yeah, that music for the first part's really weird as well. Isn't it like Viridian Forest or something?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Don't understand that at all.
Sadly, you lose it when surfing.
Yeah. And this is the last max ether that I have to get because of Psylocke skip. That you can get while still surfing. Okay, so now we're coming into Victory Road. Now, Victory Road is actually my most hated place in the game by far because you get a lot of lag spikes when pushing these boulders, and I'm very, very prone to making map mistakes while trying to push these.
Like
just
leaving this?
Yes, I did this one. I actually left Victory Road while trying to push this building, and so obviously the stone resets itself. Such a dumb mistake. I think in a race once I did something even worse. I'll tell that story. That boulder.
Yeah, you left after you pushed it. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was sure. But yeah, I hate Victory Road even more in yellow because on the 3rd floor again, you can still encounter Pokemon as well. Just to throw even more bullshit into the mix. What am I doing? I forget what point it is there, and I've never been able to recreate it, but if you pause at a certain point there, you'd like make the Moltres sprite load in a different place. just by when you use your super repel. It's probably on the point that it loads, but yeah.
And then we've got this really long rock push.
This is longer as hell, and it's for no reason as well. I don't know why this is here at all.
Still pretty stupid. That means we have to waste our times buying time with the commentary.
To be fair though, I much prefer the Victory Road in Gold, Silver, Crystal, but this is much better than the one in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Yeah, once when I pushed that boulder in, I actually went down the ladder there on the way to Moltres. And so I had to push that huge boulder all the way back. Oh, that pissed me off.
Oh, jeez.
Not a fan of Victory Road in general.
They have some cool ones.
I mean, it's like, the thing that really gets me is, this is meant to be, you know, the final test for trainers before the Elite Four. Don't have to fight any trainers in here. All you gotta do is push rocks.
That's the test. The test of patience.
That's the test. Yeah, look at how much this bloody boulder lags. It's ridiculous. Actually, you know, I've been trying to figure out where all the game time goes. Because it's, like, less than the real time of even when I'm controlling the character. This is probably where it is. This lag in Victory Road. Because I bet the game time clock is lagging there too. And there's nothing you can do about that lag. Okay, yeah. Preparing my ass for the Elite Four right now. Every single one of these trainers are complete assholes. But okay, in case you didn't know how AI works in this game, there is good AI and there is bad AI. The way to tell them apart is the music. The music of a gym leader is good AI, the music of a normal trainer is bad AI. As you can tell from Lorelei's music, she had bad AI, so she will just use any attack she wants. This is incredibly useful, because if she had good AI, I would never be able to beat the game. Dugong has Bubble Beam, Aurora Beam, Takedown, and Rest. Now, Bubble Beam and Aurora Beam do over half, and I need to get off 2 X items here before I can roll her. So I need her to use either Rest, which she just did that, or Takedown, before I can win this fight. Now, if she criticals me with Aurora Beam, I'm dead. She criticals me with Bubble Beam, I'm dead. She lowers my speed with Bubble Beam, I'm dead. Because I don't have an extra X speed to just burn off. And I don't have the money to buy any extras either. So this is actually a really, you know, run-ending fight against Lorelei.
Ew.
But now that I've set up, there's nothing she can do. I'm just going to decimate her. And now this is obviously where my PP restoring items are going to come into use. Because, I mean, I just used all of my horn drills and I obviously need to restore them again. And so it's going to be pretty much after every fight where I'm going to have to restore my horn drill PP. The only exception is into Agatha, because obviously she's got ghosts. So, not much good horn drill is going to do there. So for Bruno, because all of his Pokemon are very slow, I don't need to use an X speed. And, you know, that kind of makes it much easier that I only need to set up with 1 X item. The only way he can beat me is if he uses Dig with his Onyx, which I actually very rarely see him do, and it criticals, and I have bad defense. So even considering my defense in this run, there was no way he could beat me. I had already won this fight before it began.
Oh, that's always nice to know. I really do like those Hitmon poses in yellow.
Yeah, they are much better in yellow. And then it gets to Gold, Silver, Crystal, and Hitmonchan starts wearing a skirt. But yeah, then the next fight is going to be Agatha. Now, Horn Drill doesn't affect the ghosts, so obviously I don't use Horn Drill, but that's okay because I've got Earthquake, which manages to body the hell out of her anyway.
Super effective to boot.
And they obviously don't have Levitate yet because this is Generation 1 and what's an ability. So, she's got all poison types rather than all ghost types, and so the only thing that Earthquake isn't going to be able to body is her Golbat. So I don't use an X accuracy in this fight because I one-hit KO everything except the Golbat without it, and I two-hit KO the Golbat. So it's the same amount of turns, and it takes longer to use an X item, and also it costs money. So there's no reason to at all.
Ooh.
And then there's substitutes. And thankfully, not a
paralysis from Lick. Yeah. There's only two ways this fight can go wrong. Lick paralyzes me, or this Golbat uses Supersonic and confuses me. And I just get locked into confusion somehow.
It really kept Leech Life and Supersonic.
Yes. All the way to level 56. It's got Leech Life.
What kind of Elite Four trainer is this? Geez, you could have taught it Mega Drain or something if you wanted to move like that.
Well, ironically, her lead Gengar actually has Mega Drain.
And that Gengar had Lick.
I think it's her last Gengar has Dream Eater, but not anything that can put you to sleep. But yeah, now we're getting into the real trouble fights. Okay, so now that's the free part of the Elite Four. Now we get into the last two fights, and they suddenly have good AI again. So Lance, in case you can't recall, his lead is a Gyarados. And so the way good AI works is, if you have a super effective move, you always use it. It just so happens that Lance's Gyarados knows Hydro Pump, and since that is his only super effective move, he's going to use that every single time. From no stat boost at all, Hydro Pump one-hit KOs me. And I cannot one-hit KO his Gyarados. Lucky for me, in Gen 1, special attack and defense worked off the same stat. So what I do is just use an X special, which raises my special defense enough to tank the Hydro Pump, and at the same time raises my special attack enough to dish out a Thunderbolt. Of course, the issue with this is, if Hydro Pump criticals me, I still die. So every single time he hits me with Hydro Pump, I am sweating so much when I see 100 HP go down. It just goes down way too slowly. But now that his Gyarados is dead, I'm free, of course, once I heal to set up on this Dragonair, because its strongest move is Hyper Beam, which does less than half my health, and forces it to recharge. And so yeah, I've got the setup now. I can just smash through with Horn Drill. So I think I'm going to start explaining the final fight now, because there is a lot to explain. So, as I said before, he's got good AI. His lead is a Sand Slash. his Sand Slash knows Earthquake. So he's always going to use Earthquake. Now, it's fairly bizarre how I end up beating him. Just like the Gyarados, I can't one-hit KO him off the bat. But I'm actually going to do exactly the same thing. Earthquake would kill me at no stat boosts. I'm going to use an X special. And the X special is going to raise my defense enough to take an Earthquake. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but that actually happens. The X special raises my defense. And it'll give my special, obviously, enough to kill him with Surf. Okay. We'll just get into the battle, and we'll see what happens. Because, of course, you know, if he criticals me with Earthquake, I'm still done. This is where all of my stats really come together as well. If I don't have enough defense, even with the X special, I can still die from Earthquake. If I don't have enough special, I won't always kill him with Surf. So the defense you would never expect to really matter in a speedrun, but I can get absolutely destroyed by this fight if I don't have the special. And yes, animations turn back on. This is a single segment run that happens in Generation 1 before you ask.
Ooh.
So yes, very close to dying, but we get in the Surf now and we're done. And he's done. Out comes Alakazam, who is a Psychic type, so he's always going to be using Psychic moves. Good thing I got off that X special, otherwise he'd be one-hitting me with Psychic. He has 3 Psychic moves. Psychic, Psybeam, and Kinesis. He actually thinks Kinesis is super effective because it's Psychic type. Lucky for me. Because if he just mashed Psybeam and Psychic, I would never be able to win this fight. As soon as he criticals me here with Psybeam or Psychic, I lose. I'm just completely dead, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I can't use Revive because that gets rid of my X special, and then he just one-hits me. Now, he just lowered my accuracy with Kinesis. The lowering my accuracy with Kinesis raises my speed enough that I'll now outspeed the Alakazam. And I use the X accuracy, which negated all of the special drop. So now I can just completely destroy him with Horn Drill.
Okay,
The final fight...
Sorry, go ahead.
The final fight is by far the hardest fight in the game. There is just so much that can go wrong. Like, if your stats aren't good enough, you can just lose. Critical from Sand Slash, you're done. Any critical from Alakazam and you're done. And Alakazam can get infinite amount of shots on you, because you just have to wait until he uses Kinesis.
So is this battle just outright bugged or something?
It's not just this battle. It happens everywhere in the game. That a rise or fall in your stats will cause certain rises in other stats. Like, if, there was something like if you got growled... Oh, what was it? I forget what it was, but it was like if you got growled, your speed would rise as well. But it's absolutely ridiculous how often I will die to that fight. Because, like, I think I had 6 runs up to that final fight, and I lost before I got this run, which ironically was by far the best run to this point, and it managed to win.
Oh, going back to when I said I had a question, but yeah, it wouldn't work. It was pertaining to this final fight. I was gonna say, since you go to the Celadon Mart, the dude on, I think, the 3rd floor has counter. I was gonna say, try to use it against Sand Slash.
That's actually a fairly good idea, but the issue is, in Generation 1, counter only works on normal and fighting type moves.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they do.
Take that, dick.
Oh my god.
But yeah, my target time for this game was 2 hours and 4 minutes. When I saw this time of 2 hours and 2 minutes come up on my screen, I was absolutely over the moon. This run was absolutely beautiful if you just do not look at the trash cans.
And thus,
Like-
your story of self-narration is over.
Yes. Like the trash cans were absolutely awful, but the rest of the run was so good. Like I could put months and months and months into this game, and I would never beat that time. That was an incredibly good run, and I was so happy. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that run, especially as much as I enjoy being done with this game, because I don't ever see myself coming back to do this category ever again. And yeah, I'd like to, thank all you guys on commentary as well, especially SJ, who I think said 3 words.
Yep.
More or less.
Oh, you're still awake? I thought you were asleep.
Why I fall asleep watching a great one as this?
Do you have anything else to say, Shower Jackie? Would you like to contribute more to this commentary?
It made me take my shirt off.
Oh my god.
That is all.
Where did Sparkle go?
Now he might have fallen asleep.
That's fine. We didn't need him anyway. But yeah. I really enjoyed running this game. Hope you enjoyed watching the run. And thanks for watching the run as well. I'm happy that people actually watch things that I put this much effort into. Hope to see you all again on another Pokemon run.